want to just take 5 minutes to introduce Estuardo Rodriguez. He is the CEO of the Friends of the American Latino Museum. He's going to give you a quick update on where we are with the progress for a new Latino museum in Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much, Juan. Welcome to everybody. Those of you who are coming from the area, those of you who are coming in from out of the DMV, as we say, welcome to Washington, D.C. I'm honored to have the opportunity to briefly kind of bring you up to speed on what is happening. Those of you that have been following it, the National Museum of the American Latino was approved in December of 2020. Those of you who have not followed this, we are now 30 years in the process of creating a National Museum of the American Latino on the National Mall to tell the 500 years of U.S. Latino history. So thank you, thank you. I have not been doing this for 30 years, just to be clear. I've been doing this for almost 20, which is almost just as bad. Here's what I'm here to tell you. Number one, we need everyone to be involved in this because while the museum was approved, the location was not approved. This has historically been a bipartisan effort. Republicans and Democrats have always supported this along the way. There might have been a disparity in numbers, more Democrats than Republicans, but regardless of who was in the White House, there's always been support for this. In the same way, the effort to restrict building on the National Mall was also bipartisan, sadly. They included language in the bill that prohibited anything new being built on the National Mall. We want to override that restriction because the story of our nation is told on the National Mall. 23 million tourists from all over the country go to the National Mall to understand how our country came to be, how our economy is what it is, how we are innovators, how we are athletes and artists, and how we contribute in our military strength. From every battle that this country has ever had, there has always been a Latino or Latina behind the scenes. Blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, and being patriotic has always been part of our fabric. I'd also underscore the fact that we have a role in the initial seeds that brought this country together, to the point that I would have you consider in your messaging that Spanish is not a foreign language, that Spanish, in fact, is an American language, because it was spoken here before English was spoken. We have always been part of this land. We've always been part of the foundations that built some of the first capital in the United States, the first city in the United States. That is the story that needs to be told. And so when you go out to the lunch, you'll see on the registration table a little postcard QR code where you can get more information about this. But it is paramount that we put pressure on this now, because we have members of Congress that have been championing this for years. Congressman Tony Cardenas from California, who's one of our biggest champions in the House. We have Jennifer Gonzalez Colon from Puerto Rico, who is now running for governor of Puerto Rico. Mr. Cardenas is now retiring from Congress. We have leadership changing. And if we delay on this any longer, the Smithsonian will have to make hard decisions about whether or not it should continue to pursue building on the National Mall. And wouldn't that be tragic? That we go to the National Mall and our story still is not told. We have so much to share between our grandparents in the attics, in their storage closets, in their rooms, photos, books, notes, letters that tell of the hundreds of years of our contributions here in the United States. Those are the stories that have to be told. Those are the exhibits that have to be pulled out and contributed to a National Museum of the American Latino. That is the responsibility that you all have. If you're going to go to Capitol Hill, it doesn't matter what the topic is, every member of Congress has a role to play, and you need to remind them, by the way, please make sure that our American history is told fully and completely on the National Mall by building the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Latino on the National Mall. That is your responsibility. I am grateful for your time. Have a wonderful lunch and the rest of the summit.
Yeah, it's me again.